Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to be here. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Listen, welcome, hello, and welcome to our virtual book launch. We are launching the Four C's. Yes, the second edition of the Four C's, the road to sustainable change. You at the right place, you at the right time. It is our virtual launch. Let me just stop right now and just give a quick encouragement to anybody that is watching, that is coming on. I want you to be encouraged. Listen, that no matter what, today is a testimony. I sit here, I stand before you. You hear my voice as a testimony, not to give up, to push through, right? Because I tell you today, this right here, this launch is nothing but a push. It's been a birthing in the making, and today we are here to launch the latest, the newest, the amazing authors of the Four C's: civility, community, creativity, and climate change. The road to sustainable change. So as you come in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. We have authors, co-authors from around the globe today. So as you come in, we invite you in, we welcome you. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Hello, welcome to the book launch. All right, say hi. That's it. My name is Dr. Anana, and I am the founder and the visionary of Blessed Girls Global. And I'm also the creator of the Four C's, the Youth Civility Program. And as the woman and youth civility practitioner, I have worked in the area of youth development, youth civility, and global outreach for over 5 years now. And as Blessed Girls, I hope you know about us. I'm going to help to give you some more information about Blessed Girls. We're a nonprofit organization. We are established locally in New Jersey, that's North America, but we have a global outreach that spans across the globe in Burundi, Guyana, Kenya, Ghana, and South Africa, just to name a few. And so today we're excited because I have the opportunity to introduce to some, to introduce or acclimate you to the Four C's with our second edition, our book. And the platform of Four C's, it was really created to give young people, especially girls and women, the opportunity to see themselves as the solution. That's right. See yourself as a solution. We have a lot of problems facing us, but today in time, the Four C's allows our young people to see themselves as the solution. And so our curriculum allows the marginalized people, those that are underserved, underprivileged, that you leastly would think about. We give them the opportunity to see possibility and progress as we empower them, right? To ask the tough questions, to make the tough decisions, and stand up for what is right. Stand up and lead with civility and love. We're not leaving out the love. So as you come in today, say hello, like, comment, but more importantly, share the broadcast. Let people know about the movement, about civility, and about Blessed Girls. Okay. So as you join, listen, this will give you, even as the listener, as the participator, you will be the one to, I hope and pray that you see new opportunities of change. Right? And that you gather the courage and the confidence to create the change along with these amazing, amazing authors. All right. So I got to slow down because I'm excited. It's been a long time in the making. We've been in this process for a minute, but it is here. So this is our first edition. Hopefully you can see it. This was the first book, Creating Change for a Better Tomorrow starts today. But today we're on our second edition of the Four C's, which is the road to sustainable change. So today we have some amazing authors, and I'm honored to be able to introduce them. We are live now, I believe, on Blessed Girl TV. We are live on Facebook, our Blessed Girl nonprofit page. So come on in, join us, support us, show some love to the authors as they come on, right? So join us in this launch. All right. And again, as you see the authors, as you hear them share their story, their experience, it's just an opportunity for you to come on board and participate in this movement of the Four C's. And so the Four Cs is really a platform that was created for young people, for women, for girls, women, to share their voice, right? And to see in the areas of civility, and as we look around the world today, we see amazing opportunities of civility, right? Community, where we could come together and support one another and learn from each other, right? And then through creativity, we have artists, prophetic artists that shares her story about creativity. And you know what they say, even broken crayons can color, right? So even if today, if you feel broken, if you're feeling unfit, if you feel like you don't belong, I pray that through this broadcast, you are inspired, you are encouraged, right? To use your creativity, right? To be the change. Okay. The last one is climate change. We have we have three actually, authors that share in the space of climate change. And we're going to talk more about that. Okay. So you're here, grab a pen and paper, you are in for amazing, amazing treat. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna make sure I can work the controls. Hello, everyone. I'm gonna make sure I see my comments. Thank you for joining. Let me see who's with us. Let me see who's with us. All right, I see Cecile, one of our board members, Ambassador. Cecile is chiming in. All right, I see my sister Tanisha. We're gonna make sure we get to welcome everyone, shouting it out from Denver. Hello, hello, Takia from Denver. Denver's in the house. Okay. So hello. I see Minister Barbara Dixon is there. All right, Beverly chiming in. I believe Beverly is actually in Guyana. Thank you for being here, chiming in. Yes. All right. Thank you guys for coming in as we are launching this book. And as I told you all right, let me explain something to you. You are watching, you are experiencing a birthing. Okay, anybody, y'all ever know? Listen, when you got to push through some things, we have faced so many different challenges, and each of the authors, I'm sure, can share some of the challenges and things they had to push through just to write their chapter, right? To gather their thoughts and stay focused, to produce what we are seeing and what you will experience in this book. All right. So I pray that you are encouraged today. All right. We talk about the four C's, but I always say take your vitamin C. All right, which is dealing with your courage and making sure you have the confidence to push through. Okay, I see some more states chiming in. Michigan chiming in. Hello. Grateful to see you there. Yes. So this is the launching. All right. This is the launching. But even as you see these authors, as you see us, as you purchase the book and you take participation in this process, you with us. This is a time of launching. This is a time of pushing through, right? And producing. Oh, I ain't here for that, but I'm just letting you know what I feel. I'm hoping that you catching what we're putting down today, that it is time to produce. It's time to come forward. And we're doing that today with these authors. So let's do it. I think because I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Let's see if I go in alphabetical order. No order, but if we're going with the alphabets, okay, all right. We tagging. That's right, guys. You comment, you share, tag someone in today because we are coming through. We are launching. All right. So let me see. First up today is an amazing young lady. I'm going with the A's, so you know if you're an A, y'all know y'all ready. I'm going to introduce to you an amazing young lady that I had the privilege of mentoring. She is a part of Blessed Girls. She answered the call and traveled with us to Africa in 2022. Oh, here she is.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, being a part of this journey in more ways than one. I'm so excited to have you here, Ayana. I'm going to step back and I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the audience today.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Like Dr. Anana said, my name is Ayana Slacum. I am from New Brunswick, New Jersey, in USA. And I am a sophomore in college at Albright College, which is located in Reading, Pennsylvania. And I am studying communications for public relations and advertising, as well as business administration. And I would like to be a talent agent A talent agent is someone who helps people like with their careers and their lives and things like that, like just guiding them. Something that I love is helping people. Community is everything to me. That's my C. I gave it away. Um, that's literally everything. I love helping people, putting a smile on their face, making sure that them knowing I did something to help them is something that like just makes me feel very good. Um, I am also studying business administration. I would also like to have my own hair salon. I would like to be a real estate agent. I have a lot of goals and dreams, so I will accomplish all of those things. That is for sure. Um, I had an opportunity to go to Africa. It was so amazing. It was so beautiful. It was such a humbling experience. Like it was great. Like please everybody join. That's the first thing I will start off with. If you have the opportunity to go, please go. If you have to take out a loan or fundraise, do it. Do whatever you could do to go because the experience just humbles you and make you a better person. We had the opportunity to go to schools. I was able to talk to students, people at the orphanages, churches, everywhere. Like I really enjoyed being able to just explore. It was my first time traveling, period. So the first time going to travel, go to Africa and be on a plane the first time, like it was a lot of firsts for me. It was so amazing. And I was so honestly grateful that I said yes to going and I pushed myself through it all to just make sure that I put myself out there so that I can be the best person that I can be. And I know that the more that I get myself involved, that is the more that I can evolve and grow and be like and flourish. And that's what I love to be. That's what I grow to be is somebody to flourish and just be great. In Africa, I got a lot of like I felt like home. Like it was very loving, caring, um, very welcoming. Like everybody just touched like just wanted to be in your presence. Like you being there was just like so amazing to them. And just having the opportunity to just see a different side of the world and interact with a different group of people, but knowing that these are my roots and where I came from, it was even 10 times better. And like just to see like what God created over there and how like everything was structured, like it was a purpose. You seen the purpose, like you seen the reason everything was created to be the way it was, even though you didn't understand, but you could see it. And also going there allowed me to grow closer to God. And that's something that I'm working on, like allowing to expand my relationship with him, get a deeper connection, and just really understand because I feel like everything that I'm doing is because of him. It's like he's showing me how to be the best person that I could be, set an example for my family. Like I'm so happy. My mom, I know she all in the comments. I see her. She's like my biggest supporter and I really do appreciate her so much. And like just knowing that you can come from nothing and then grow to be something is just like so amazing. And I know that I'm not finished growing. I'm not finished doing anything yet. I'm just starting. And to know that I was only 18 years old and I'm like doing so much and so more and setting an example and being a help and just like just being out there, that's like so amazing to me. And I'm just so happy that I can show my community who I am, how they help shape me be the person that I am today, and how all the resources that and meeting all those people and putting myself out there, making all those connections and networking, just showing everybody that doing that can set you so far and that allows you to have such an amazing following. And all those people that you meet and you network with, those are the people that go with you to help build you up and help push you to where you need to go. And don't ever forget it. Like everybody needs a mentor. It doesn't matter how old, how young you are. You need somebody to help guide you because we are all learning. We are all people. We all make mistakes. It is okay. But just allowing other people to help and be around you and like help correct you and like even though they didn't get a chance to experience the things that I'm experiencing, they're pouring into me so that they can experience it through me, and that's really important too. So I'm just so happy that I can make a difference and be a blessing to the people around me, the people in my life. And yeah, um I can tell you some things that I'm involved in school. I'm a tutor at an elementary school for third and fourth grade students. I started my own club this semester. That's like my biggest thing. If Africa birthed it out of me, I can honestly say that. And everywhere we went in Africa, everybody told us we were the first, we were the first, we were the first. And in my family, I am the first. So just like, so then I was like, wow, that's so crazy. So being first generation is very important to me. I'm a first generation college student. Yes, my mom, she did go to college, but she didn't get a chance to graduate. So I'm going to do that for my family and make that difference and push myself. So I push a first generation club at my school, and I started it at the beginning of the semester. We got approved to get a lot of things for our club. So we're getting pins with our logo on it. We're having a panel this Friday that I'll be speaking on at my school to talk about what it is being a first generation college student, also a person of color, how it is being a person of color at a predominantly white institution as well. And I'm so excited. I also am a business honors student, so I have the opportunity to in March to interview some possible professors that might be coming to my school, and I'm so excited for that. Like, I'm so happy. In the beginning of my college experience, I wasn't the happiest. I was like feeling down, and I was like, I don't really want to be here because I'm so far away from home. I just wanted to be with my mom and, like, my family, like people that I felt actually was worried about me. But I noticed that stop not being in my room was not the best option. So, like, I made sure that I went out of my room to go and, like, meet new people, be on campus, experience the campus culture, try to, like, put myself out there and see what things were about. And then that's when I started to grow and be and flourish and meet new people, try new things, start talking to people. I was just talking to my friend, and she was like, "You network so well and it's so amazing." And I'm just so happy for everything that you're doing. And so I just thank you all for tuning in and listening to me and celebrating our book launch with us.
Yes, yes, yes. Y'all see what happens? You see how when she created community everywhere she go. College campus, right? In Africa, community. Oh my goodness, we salute you. We thank you so much for your yes. I always say that it's sometimes we get easy and comfortable in saying no to things, but I'll tell you, when I invited you, first of all, to be a part of the book, you gave a yes. Then when I invited you to go to Africa, when you had never even stepped foot on a plane before, and then to travel 18, 20 miles, 20 hours on a plane, your courage, your confidence is certainly laying a foundation, and I think I like to say leaving a pathway for others to follow. So we thank you, Ayana. I want to let everybody know her chapter is "The more you involve is the more you evolve."
Yeah.
Did y'all get that? Somebody put that in the comments. The more you involved, the more you are involved is the more you evolve. So it takes your getting involved, and we're going to talk more about engagement as we move forward. So listen, I love one of her things. She says community also includes allowing people to nurture and create opportunities and experiences. And that's exactly what you just are talking about that you've done. And you wrote that. You wrote that and you did that. You did that.
Wait, I would like to leave you with one thing. So my bag tag when I went to Africa, it says, "Leave a little sparkle wherever you go." So that's what I'm
That's
doing.
what you do.
Yeah.
That
Thank you
is what you
guys.
do. Yes, yes, yes. So we thank you. I know as folks are chiming in, I wanted to make sure you see some of the comments for sharing. And like I said, to those that are watching, it's about the birthing, the purpose, right? And so you are just, as you said, just the beginning. You are the first creating this organization, first generation students. So I'm hoping you seeing Some of the comments, that's right. They're chiming in. That's even from South Africa, is on the line. Thank you, Felicia, for being here. So again, if you had the opportunity of meeting Felicia and being in South Africa, so this is good stuff. We just getting started. All right. So that's our intro. I'm going through the A's, so you know who's next up. Y'all know who next up. All right, okay. Welcome. Listen, this amazing young lady, she hails from Indianapolis. She's here in North America as well. And I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and share a bit about her C. And they're both in alignment. How about that? This is incredible. Thank you, Adriana. I'll turn it over to you.
Greetings. Thank you, Dr. Anana. Thank you, everybody that's joining. Y'all could be anywhere in the world and you're here. I appreciate that. The rest of the authors, we appreciate that, because again, like, you could be anywhere you are, anywhere in the world, and you tune in. And with technology, like, come on now, we can get into it. So as she said, I'm Adriana Riggs, and my C I wrote about was community. And community, it went a little personal for me, because at a certain point, the community raised me, and the community within my family, there was about 3 or 4 people that I felt like God put something in to help raise me, because my parents did the best that they could. And so I was kind of hopped around a little bit. And so, yeah, I had a team of women that helped me evolve, that made me the woman that I am today, that I continue to grow to be. So I share a little bit about that in my chapter, because again, this was very personal for me. I knew and I felt in my spirit that I wanted to be a servant. Like, I feel like, and I know that I'm God's vessel, and that's what I believe. I do believe that there is a God, a creator, and I'm here to be a vessel. And so I feel like, again, helping, just being a servant, helping people. And so I think that that's kind of where I've been aligning in my work. Like, I didn't get an opportunity to go to college. And so the work that I did, it was always some type of work where I was serving people, helping people. I was always just helping. And I loved helping people, like being a problem solver. And so it just continued to grow and to evolve. And I also noticed, like, a lot of people weren't exposed to things. And so I'm like, okay, there's a lack. No. So I just, as I'm continuing to grow and evolve, I'm just seeing some things to come back to. And so I feel like, again, the more that we get into who we are and what our calling is, God will align us. And I really feel like God aligned me, connected me to Dr. Anana, because I love what she's doing, the mentorship, like, because that's what we need. And seeing the work that I did, it was I feel like a disconnect. I felt like the wrong people were in these spaces, and they really wasn't helping people. And I felt like, okay, again, another note, like, okay, all right. So I put out in the universe that I want to be connected with people that really care about building individuals and building up community, because as we live, there is, neighbors and things that you meet, and you're going to, you live in a community. So I feel like what you're around can possibly evolve who you are. And that happened to me, because my life could have went this other way, but it didn't, based off of what I was exposed to, based off of what certain people put into me. So I really feel like I'm aligned on what my calling is, and I'm so grateful, like, to continue to evolve and grow and build up this community. I'm a mom. I have a 12-year-old. I turned 30 last year, and a lot happened. I was a part of this book. This was my first time writing a book, so I was a little bit, like, nervous about it, for lack of better words. And to be transparent with you, I ain't never did this before, but I was open to receive and to challenge myself. And so definitely got support along the way, and I'm open to hear y'all feedback. So when you have some time and feeling in your spirit, read the book. We'll share the link. Get the book now. You can get it. It's on Amazon. And yeah, I think that the more I continue to do this work, the more I evolve. So again, like I said, a lot happened in my 30s. I went to Africa. I found out I was having a baby as well 12 years later. Like, who does that? So like it's a lot happened. I was working at an agency as a placement specialist at an agency. So I was helping people find work, find jobs. So again, problem solving. It was really rewarding. The people I felt like that I worked with, some of my coworkers just seeing people as numbers and didn't see them as an individual, as a person. And so that was something that stood out to me. And the pandemic happened, and I lost my position. So I went into the entrepreneur realm, and that's how I was able to build or get more connected with Dr. Anana and get involved in this book and get it and went to Africa. It's always been a dream and a passion of mine to go to Africa, and I finally went. Like it's something like I really seen it in my mind and was able to go to this place and like see this place, smell this place, and it felt like home. Like, oh my God, the hospitality was like no other. The hustle and the people was like no other. Like, and it felt like home. So again, like I'm a mom, and I want to expose. I want to expand. I think that's again a part of the work that I'm doing within community, exposing people, connecting people to certain resources that they don't know about, they aren't aware about, and they can't even take advantage of because they don't know. And sometimes or from what I've noticed, there are organizations and things that are created, and they again aren't really there to help the people. So I feel like, but there are a team of people, and Dr. Nana is one of those teams of people, one of those people, and she has gathered the right people to do the work that we need. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this, opportunity. So I work again at a nonprofit. I'm a community builder. That's my position at a nonprofit. So that's literally what I'm doing right now. We're out in these communities, building them up, because it can start there. Again, connecting people with certain resources to expand on what they want to do and get in here. And what we do a little bit special is we get feedback from the community on what you really want to change, because I've noticed people come into these communities and try and change stuff, and maybe that's not what the community needed right there. So we assist with healing, with healing the people. So I'm so grateful for the work that I was doing, what I'm doing, and I feel like it's been aligned on what I'm passionate about. So I just encourage, you all, like, I feel like we all have people assigned to us, and you have assignment. So continue to try to find your assignment, and just keep doing what's in your control, and don't worry about what's not in your control. So I hope that you get the book and you enjoy it, and please share any feedback. And if you want to be involved in the next one, that's your lady. Reach out to Dr. Anana, and we can get you squared away, because it was again the first for me, like the first for me, and I did it. So, and you can do it as well. And like I said, just continue to, I'm happy that I was able to go to Africa and expand. It took me 5 days to get to Africa, y'all. Like, it's a 2-day trip, I believe. It took me 5 days. Are you hearing me? Like, it took me 5 days. Resistance was really, the devil was throwing everything that it could at me to not get me to go. And I went, and I was exposed. And I feel like there was a lot that I've heard about it, and I got a different perspective. I got a different blueprint from exposure. So that's what I'm here to do, to continue to expose our people, expose our community to the right resources. And so we know we can't change people. It's up to them, but we can provide them the opportunities when they're ready to make those changes, sustainable change.
Yes.
So again, that's why I'm grateful to be a part of this opportunity. And like, again, go get that book, y'all. Y'all have it. So let's
Let me show also the link. I'll have to make sure we'll put it in again too. But thank you so much, Adriana. I want to talk to you a little bit about your. I'm going to share one of your quotes from the book, and you were saying, "Listen, we should be able to work together because better families create better communities." And I like that you talk about, building a strong family, the unity in that space. You share a lot about building and maintaining businesses, things in the community. And you said creating productive brainstorming session, interacting activities can build relationships. And it's important to listen and learn. It doesn't matter what age, you can learn from someone. So that was a quote from you. That's you in the book, in your chapter. But also you touch about even the people in your family coming up and supporting you, and your community supporting you when perhaps you don't have people in your family that are there, because there
Yeah.
could people that are watching from all over the world, but I don't have that. You know what? I don't have a supportive mom or dad. I might not have nobody in my family that supports me. And even if you're connecting and you're watching today, you're a part of our community. You are a part of the Blessed Girls community. You are a part of the Four Cs community. So you are not alone. You are never alone. And that's why even those that are watching, you share, right? You see the opportunity to create community as we move forward. So I thank you. There's so much more to Adriana's story. We're going to have her to come back, and individually, the authors are going to come back and share more in this space of the Four Cs. So we'll have sessions where they individually come. But today is just a launch. Today is just it's just a launch. So I have the opportunity to share a little bit and have them share a bit. So we thank you so much as you're watching. Thank you again. And
Thank you.
that's that new mom coming through. Y'all see her? Y'all see her?
Yes.
All right, we're staying with the C. We're gonna go to a B. Okay, her name starts with a B. All right. And so next up is amazing young lady. I pray that she is on. I see her in the background. She know her name start with B, so I'm giving her heads up because she knows she's next. Okay. Now, this amazing young lady, I had the privilege of meeting while in Burundi, and she has served as a mentor for Blessed Girls Burundi. And so we were talking in length and detail about her sharing in the book, even in the first edition. But we bless God that she was able to share, and her C is community and culture. And she talks about how culture is a part of the community, and it creates, and how it's infused. And one thing is, she also shares about the things that needs to be changed in our cultures, right? The things that we need to address even internally, and even in the space of equal rights and gender equality, and how girls and women are treated even in culture. So she gives a dynamic perspective, and I'm grateful that she is here and able to share. So Blessy, come on up, my blessed girl from Burundi. Come on in. And now Blessy is going to talk and share. And I want Blessy to even feel free, because obviously English is not her first language. English, Kirundi, French. She has multiple. She is trilingual, maybe more than that. So even Blessy, as you speak, if you are led to say things in your native tongue, if you want to say something in French, she's actually hailing in Canada right now. But Blessy, I want you to feel free. Let the Lord lead you. You go ahead and talk to the people today. You amazing author that you are. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Blessy, and I'm from Burundi. Yeah, so right now I'm in Canada. It's a privilege for me to be in Canada. So yeah, um, I'm having some experiences like the cold and everything. So yeah, and the load also is good. Yeah. So yeah, I wrote about community and culture. I don't know. I felt like I want just to, to share about Burundi for those who cannot be able to be in Burundi or just to visit my country. It's a small country, but which is beautiful. So yeah, I really love my country. So I was just let me just share about my country, about my beautiful country, our culture and everything. So yeah. what can I say that? So I don't know. I love I love my culture. Uh, so first of all, like I was raised. My parents raised me like to to love people and to help. So I have four siblings, and like we could just be in a house of six, like my parents and us four siblings. But we were never like six people in our house. We have more than that. Like we I raised like I grew up seeing my father coming, like like having cousins in our house, adopted, like like helping people. So my community or my culture is about to help people. So we love to help people, and that's why I think like I love to help, and that's why like when one of my spiritual mother who helped me to connect with Dr. Anana, like when she told me, Blessy, so you love to help, so I will just connect you with Dr. Anana. So I was like, wow, thank you so much. Yes, I really want to help. So she told me about Blessed Girls community team. So I was like, wow, yeah, I really love that. So it will be wonderful for me to to be a team member. And then yeah, she told me, yeah, okay, no problem. So I will connect you. So yeah, I really love to help. So yeah, so it's one of my culture in Burundi, but also um, but also like we love to pray. Also, yeah, we love to pray. We have many people who love to pray. So also my community is part of like praying. Yeah, we love to pray. So I don't know what to say more. I mean, like I don't know. So, but I I just felt like just to talk about my country. So to share about my country. So for those who can be able to visit my country, you are welcome. We have like delicious food and everything. But also, if you're not able to visit Burundi, you can just read it by the book. Sorry. Yeah, you can just read a book and then you'll see your picture, like going into that. So yeah, that's what I can say. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Blessy. You know what? Blessy is amazing, guys. Now I know that again, I told you, as far as her being now in Canada, right? So Blessy, why don't you teach us something in Kirundi? Is it Amoro? Come on, give us a simple saying, show us some love, teach us always everywhere we go in Africa, we learn something, right, from the language that we could take away. So come on, teach the audience a saying or something in Kirundi or uplifting from Burundi. Come on, give us something. I'm not letting you off easy. We're gonna learn today, guys. Everybody listening, you're gonna take notes. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn something from Blessy in Kirundi, I believe, right?
So there's a saying that I wrote in the book, which says "Utaya karanga, awataya akawanga." So "Utaya akaranga," like it's like how can I say akaranga in English? I don't know. Utai akaranga, awatai akawanga. So let me just try to explain, like like um, I'm trying to say the what's example? Yeah, so like like if you go away from where your culture, like
Mhm.
actually you just like you're just giving another image which is not like yeah, it's like umukobwa umwe atukisha bose. We like to say that like one girl, like if you just do something wrong,
Mhm.
like just one, but
Uh-huh.
it's it's in general. So yeah, So let me just give an example. Like, okay, for example, God forbid, but it's like that. So
Yeah.
like if you steal,
Hmm.
so that time the country will be like, oh, that country, they like to steal, something like that.
Hmm.
So in general, we just, we have to protect our culture. We have
Hmm.
to, we have to just to cover, so that
Hmm.
we will maintain our culture. So yeah,
Okay.
that's why I can tell. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Someone, I think it was Chris. Is it Crisco? Cooked by Chris Crisco says she can't wait to try the food. The food is amazing. The people are so loving. It's like the heart of Africa, right? Is Burundi. It was our first African nation to host and to represent Blessed Girls. So I am always grateful, and I thank you for that. And you were just saying, I was thinking her thing is my community, my culture, and her community is defined by the culture. The word is broad in a sense, but it's a distinctive feature of spiritual and material, intellectual and emotional, which is characterize your society and its group. So she gives a lot of perspective about growing up in Burundi and the culture it is. And so we thank you. We bless you for being here. And we'll be heading to Canada. Blessy will be doing Four Cs, a summit in Canada, and she will be a part of that. So those of you that want to join us, we're looking at May, perhaps, but we'll be doing a book release as well. All right. So Blessy, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. All right, all right. Next up, I think I'm gonna go to an N. I'm gonna go to an N. I'm giving him some hints here on who's next. If your name starts with N, you know you're ready. I'm giving him hints. All right, all right. We are moving along. I'm managing the controls too. So next up is an amazing author that I happen to know pretty well. I happen to know this young man pretty well. But how many of you know that when we talk about civility, we talk about empowering women and girls, sometimes the men, our counterparts, are left out of the conversation. And so I'm grateful that we have now become, from our youth civility tour in 2022, we have launched Blessed Guys. Okay, everybody say Blessed Guys. Can I get a whoop whoop for the Blessed Guys? And so we had some men on the tour with us. We have some men for the first time participating in the Four Cs, and we have two male authors, contributing authors in this book. So I don't know about you, but we need our men. We need the support. We need the perspective of men during this process. So we are going to include Blessed Guys in the process moving forward. So I'm grateful that we have two of them that are here today. So first up, again, is amazing young man. His name is Nasset, and he's going to come up and share. He shared in the space of civility.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Hello, everyone. So as you stated, my name is Nasset Durham. I'm from East Brunswick, New Jersey, and I currently go to Northeastern University in Boston. Supposed to have a little part about our future. I'm currently a little unsure about that, but there's excitement in that as well. Um, and so for my C, again, as you said, I chose civility, and specifically speaking about the importance of recognizing and respecting the fact that everyone has a perception that's different from your own, and understanding that this perception is birthed in thoughts and unique experiences. I think it's easy oftentimes to get caught up in our own minds that we forget, or not even forget, but just don't respect the fact that a contradiction to ourselves is not necessarily an opposition. And so one person I kind of talk about extensively in my chapter is James Baldwin, who was an author, activist kind of during the American Civil Rights Movement. And one thing I kind of really respected about him was just his ability to see, of course, his whole thing was kind of the dynamic between white and black Americans, and his ability to kind of see things from the outside looking in, and recognize that despite everything that white Americans had done to him, his ability to kind of see them as human. And I think for many people, that's a very challenging thing to do. So that was confusing for me when I first started reading him. But eventually, I kind of reasoned that what he was trying to get across, that no matter how absurd something may seem to us, we kind of must reason with the fact that it's someone else's reality. So yeah, I think even in small arguments with our friends, we often find it so difficult to take a step back and understand where they're coming from, and understand that what they've been through has helped to shape them into the way that they are. And so yeah, I typically keep my part really short and simple. But I think if there is one message I'd like to leave, is that I'm sure many of you have desires to change things in whatever area or field that may be in, and doing so is going to involve interacting and working collaboratively with people with much different perspectives from your own. And any attempt at resolution or change is going to involve collaboration. Yeah, I encourage you to take the time to understand these conflicting opinions, which is, of course, not a very easy thing to do. But yeah, that's all.
You guys got that? I don't know if y'all know who this amazing young man is. This actually is my son, my middle child. And so I am grateful that he shares a lot. He is definitely more on the intellectual perspective, if you haven't picked that up yet. So I'm going to give you a quote of his, and I would just want him to share a bit, because he actually had the opportunity to travel to Africa and to visit 3 countries. I don't even know, maybe even more than that. He's actually been to London. So I wanted to hear a bit about your perspective, talking about civility, but then traveling to Africa and learning from that culture, your culture, going back home, and how you were received, and what were some of your lessons or things that you would want to share to the audience in that space of being on tour, and even talking to young people and being to travel. You've talked to really over thousands of people. But I remember you saying, Ma, what do I have to say? Why are they even going to listen? Do you remember that? You were like, what? Why would they even want to listen to what I have to say? And if you can share how you were received and what you brought. And I think because a lot of times you were thinking what you were going to give, but actually, what did you receive from that experience in that space while being on that tour and traveling abroad?
Okay, so yeah, as you said, I think going into the trip, I was very unsure of what I'd be able to give all of these kids that I was speaking to. I think a couple weeks before we went, I actually spoke to Dr. Anana. I was going to say you, but I spoke to Dr. Anana about. I'm not sure what to say, because from their, if I was to look at it from their perspective, I'm an American coming in with much more experience, much more fortune than them. I'm in a position where I have access to many more things. What do I really have to give, and why would they even care coming from me? So that was I wouldn't say a worry, but something that was on my mind as I was preparing to speak to the kids in these different countries. But once we kind of got on the ground, I think, and I began speaking to them, I think once they realize that you're genuine, that really doesn't matter. And they see that they care about you, or you care about them rather, and that once your intentions are good, then they're willing to accept you for who you are. And that was an eye-opening experience for me. I think just in terms of like gratitude and centering myself, of course, as an American with kind of the fortune and the access to things that I previously spoke about. We can kind of see things skewed, and we kind of see things in a hierarchy when we're all people. There's something that we can gain from each other, no matter where we are on this social kind of ladder that we really construct ourselves. So yeah, that's all.
Awesome. All right. So guys, did you get that? Because you see. So I like you talk about the hierarchy and the way that you would say that your vision of view on things was a bit skewed, right? And I like this, because when we talk about civility from the beginning, that's really the foundation of everything. It's about your perspective, but your ability to be open and communicate, right? And to allow real conversation is in those discussions, in those conversations. And I'm grateful that you had the opportunity. I wish I could pull up some of the pictures to really talk to some young men. If you remember in South Africa, how you had some of those discussions with the young men and how they received you. We're not going to talk about how the young ladies received you, but the young men, how they received you and came to you. And do you want to just one more thing before I let you go? Because see, he ready to go, y'all. Share a bit about that. That was the last country when we were in Soweto, right? And I think Felicia is here now. Yes, Felicia saying yes, you did so well in South Africa in the ZA. And so, if you want to just give before closing thing is to share a bit about that, because as we're saying, there's people that are going to be watching that will be in the next book. There are people that are watching and listening, and I always say that you are inspiring those just by showing up. Right? And so, I think. If you can talk to me about that our last leg of the trip, and you having those young men come and talk to you and glean from you, how did that change your perspective as you knew you were heading back to the U.S., if you will?
Yeah. So I don't think it necessarily changed my perspective on anything, but after I spoke in South Africa, like you said, our last leg of the tour, a group of the male students kind of came up to me, kind of asked for my advice. I think one of them was looking to go to college in the US. So I think that really just connects to what I said before. Like they recognize you as being genuine. And you try to form a connection with people that you genuinely care for. And I think once they realize I genuinely cared about them, about what I was speaking about to them, I don't know, there's just a human element to that. And I think something I've come to realize myself, I'm a very quiet, typically reserved person, but human connection is something it's needed. So once them taking a step to reach out to me kind of signified to me that I was doing something important. So yeah, I guess speaking to future authors is just keep that in mind. When you're writing, when you're going on tour, talking to these different people, is that what you're saying holds value, and that the people listening, I'll say typically do care about what you're saying.
Indeed. Good stuff, sir. Thank you for sharing about that genuine connection, and giving the inspiration that I know that you did. And almost like Ayana, it was a first for you, but you were right away. You said yes that you would do it, yes that you would contribute in the book, yes that you would go on the tour. And so I thank you for your yes, young man. All right. So we are moving along. Thank you. I see Yanni said, she loves that for you. So we are grateful for that. I like for the authors to see the feedback live and in motion. All right. So if we are staying with let me see, that was an N. I jumped around the alphabet a bit, but hold on. Let me make sure I move things around. Let's see who's up. All right. If we go with civility, we might as well just stay with the men because they on here. We're gonna stick with the blessed guys since we're here. And we've been to Canada. We know South Africa is representing, but today we also have Nigeria on the line. And so with that, I think he's 7 hours ahead of us here in North America in Eastern Standard Time. So we are going to go ahead and stick with the men and let this amazing brother who shared on civility, who was connected, and I met him for the first time in Ghana. And so I'm grateful for the connection and his ability to share and write on civility. He gave a dynamic chapter, but he's a speaker, author, minister, and just someone that is certainly passionate about building up the kingdom, but also working and being an example for our youth. So none other than let's go. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. I can hear you.
You can hear me well? All right. Well, welcome to the launch. We're so happy to have you. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to introduce yourself and share a bit in regards to your C and what you would like the audience to hear in the space of the book today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Anana. It's a privilege to be here, and I really appreciate seeing everyone. My name is Thomas Dagwat Christian. By the grace of God, I'm a missionary, a human capacity builder. I love to see people do what God has called them to do excellently well. So I build capacity. I am also a creative strategist. the fire that burns through my veins is actually to help others find salvation in Christ and also purpose of existence. And I love God. Yeah. I also love to talk about missions, evangelism, and discipleship as a Christian, right? So yes, that's it about me. I live in the city of Jos, Nigeria, and Jos has a population of about 6 million people, and yeah, that is just the population of a country like Botswana. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm a Nigerian, and I love my country. And when I talk about civility in my chapter, I am looking at how a country with over 300 million people staying together. I also looked at how there is about 270 ethnic groups in Nigeria, everyone with his or her culture, different dialects. We don't even hear each other. You know, someone from the northern Nigeria could speak and someone from the southern Nigeria won't even understand what the person is saying. And so when God brings people like this together and they stay in one place, so that's a whole lot of drama. It's a whole lot of drama, if I'm to use that word. And so and that is where the place of civility comes in. You know, an act of kindness, showing kindness, accommodating each other's difference, and leveraging on each other's things that are common. So civility is very much needed because we are people of different sex, different languages, different, a lot of barriers that connects us, but then civility brings us together to bind us. And so in Africa, I also talk about how civility is the center of community transformation. And community transformation in the sense that when I show kindness to someone, the person's looked at me from a perspective that I value him, I cherish him. And so that creates trust that brings also development and transformation in the community. And in Africa, when you talk about the community, it could be a larger perspective of it, because like in a family, the family is never a nuclear family. The family in Africa is always an extended family where you have, in fact, sometimes you don't even know the people that are staying in your house, but they are staying in your house and you have accommodated them as the part of your family. And so that requires a lot of civility skill, because to stay in peace, there must be a lot of respect to each other's difference. And so I also talked about what late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, when he chaired the Truth and Reconciliation Committee in 1995 after the South African apartheid. He created something that actually has been existing in the ancient Africa. And even though at this present time it's been partly lost, that particular understanding is fast fading away. And that is the Ubuntu saying of I am because you are, and you are because I am. And so that is, to me, simply defines what civility is in totality. I am because you are, and you are because I am. In other words, this tells us that we are just bonded together and we cannot be separated. And alone, I am nobody, but together we are a people. And that, to me, is everything that has to do with civility and how you can bring civility into your sphere of leadership. And in this, I'm not talking about any position, a high position. I'm talking about being a leader in your sphere of influence. It could be maybe in your home, bringing the skill of civility into your home. That will change the community. And quite a lot of things that I talk about, the perspective of the African traditional religion that has been existing in the in relation to civility and as well leadership, before the coming of other religions. So I advise you get the book. A lot of things. One thing I love about this is because it is not centered on. It's not a one-sided project. It's a project that touches around the globe. So in order, if you want to know how the globe operates, how the world operates globally, this book will actually reveal to you how people from different places, with different cultures and different understanding and perspective of things, come together to do a project like this. And that is what forms a community with a civility, because everybody has his own understanding of what he or she wrote about, and here is it right now, doing this project together. So it's a privilege that I've been featured in this very edition of the 4Cs. I really appreciate. It's a privilege, and I do not take it for granted. Thank you very much, Dr. Anana.
All right, thank you, sir. You know what? You Ubuntu. Every time I feel like I have to say it, I don't feel like I have to say it right. I am because we are. I love that was brought into the space of civility, sometimes, and community, which you really covered so well. And one of your quotes is. The esteem at which civility should be held in the community for social transformation cannot be overemphasized. Thus, as humans, if we can leverage our strength and power of civility, not just with our community, be stronger and better, but families within a community could thrive on a smooth relationship with each other. And I love how that ties back into, I think it was Adriana, right? About community and talking about the family, and getting even deeper in that space of civility. So you touched on that. That was just one of the quotes there. And so you actually had the opportunity to go on tour with us. Do you want to share anything in regards to your experience on being with us in Ghana? And what your perspective was? I know we went to the orphanage and just being in a new country for you, because people think of Africa, but Africa has many, many nations. And for you to come and travel for it was the first for you, as Ayana was speaking about. So I see some of the synergy in that first experience for yourself. There's anything you want to share with meeting the midwives, with becoming a part of the Mordecai mandate? Oh, come on now, you got something to share, I know. So tell us a bit about being on
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Just like Dr. Anana said, to me, it was actually my first time of leaving my country, right? So I've been in Nigeria for almost all my life. And that was the first time of leaving out of Nigeria to Ghana. Of course, I've read about some African countries. I've read about Ghana, how it came to independence and all of these things. But what really stood out for me during this tour in Ghana was actually when we went to the Cape Coast. And the Cape Coast, I had read about it in history. I studied peace and conflict management. And so I understand history very, very well. And I had read about the slave trade, but I have never witnessed the intensity of the pains that our forefathers had to go through. And going to the Cape Coast, and when the tour guide was explaining things to me, and everything that I had read in class actually stood out in front of me. And so to me, that was one of the best experience I had in Ghana. I really cherished that moment, and it was a whole lot of I love everything that went on over there. Meeting people and communicating, just networking, sharing ideas, broadening more perspective to ministry, the Mordecai, the spiritual midwife. All these things are things that I actually I love the moment. I love the moment. In this part of Nigeria where I am, which is the northern part of Nigeria, there's something that people call Saduwa Meidadi. So when you meet people, you wish that the moment never ends. And so that is the moment for me. I wish that moment never ended. But then it had to end anyway. It had to. So that is just my experience of in Ghana. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So you that was it. Of course, going through Cape Coast and understanding the door of no return, and it's just so much of a perspective, even for you. From being from Nigeria, from us, from being the U.S. And being African American and being here for generations and going through that process. It was. Oh my goodness, you are so right about that. That was certainly the highlight of the trip for me on a personal level, but learning and knowing that we walked the steps of our ancestors, right? And so they said the door of no return, but we had the opportunity to return. We were the remnant that was able to come and listen, I can go on with that. All right. But thank you, Sarah. Thank you for your yes. And all that you really went through to get there, the sacrifices for you to meet us in Ghana, and for your contribution in this book. So more to come. As I said, the authors will come on individually and tell more about their own stories and the work that they're doing throughout the world. So we thank you and salute you. But stay tuned, because we are going to have a bit of a panel discussion before you go. Okay, so hopefully you can stay here. I know it's getting late, but we would love to have you a part of the panel discussion as we move forward. All right. I'm going to the L's. All right, that was a T because he's in Nigeria, but I'm staying with it, so she knows, because if she's with an L, she know who's next up. Next up is an amazing woman, young lady, woman I can say, because I've met her when she was a teenager, and now she's a young woman. She was in the first edition of the book. She is an ambassador. She is an essay winner. She is a climate change champion for Blessed Girls. She is doing her thing. She is now modeling in New York City. I mean, she is an amazing game changer. And I know with me even just saying this, she's like, why is she doing this to me? But I absolutely love this woman right here. She is amazing. Her mother has been a supporter of Blessed Girls when I went on my first experience, if you will, and had my first summer camp in Guyana. Her mom was an amazing supporter of Blessed Girls, and she was as well, when she was a part of our summer camp. So that she already know who she is. So I'm just gonna pull her up. I'm gonna pull her up. Allow her to introduce herself. You gotta unmute.
Hello. As we all know, I am a familiar face. Thank you for the handful introduction, Anana. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people talk, and I've seen some new faces, and I'm excited that we're expanding as an organization. I'm very excited to have us grow and continue to grow, because these opportunities that you're offering, not only for us as adults, but also for these young children that are watching right now, it's amazing. I wanted to quickly come on and jump on and talk about what I do have to say is definitely going to relate to what everyone else is talking about, because we've been touching so much on community and their exposure to different environments and how it's been so enlightening for us. And it made me realize that a lot of people don't get that chance to go and experience a different culture and different environment, and they never get to learn as much as we do. So whatever we put in this book for them to come back to and read is definitely something that can be that can create a pivoting moment within their lives. So for sure, if you're able to join in on these trips, I definitely suggest you do. People that are well-traveled become so educated that they become builders within their community. When they see something great from outside, when they have a new lens and a new focal point, they're able to come back into their own community and build it. And definitely when it comes to climate change, of course, community is important. And as you may have guessed it, climate change is my C. My C within the book is climate change. I think for sure when it comes to climate change, individual responsibility is the most important, because you can't build a community when you yourself lack the capabilities or competence of getting up early in the morning to take care of yourself and get basic things done. If you can't get the basic things done, then how are you going to make the bigger changes that need to be made? How are you going to develop the kids that you have? How are you going to keep oh, sorry, I'm reading the comments. Hi, Auntie Ruby. Hi, everyone that's on the live right now. Thank you for coming and supporting. I really appreciate this. Yes. So definitely within my chapter is entitled "The Promise of Affluence is the Promise of Change." I came to this conclusion of naming my chapter this because when I moved from my beautiful country, Guyana. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with my country, Guyana. I love you. If there are any Guyanese people in here, shout out to y'all. I want to keep this quick, so I'm gonna move on. Yes, I moved from Guyana and came down to New York, and I must say the change was drastic because this is, like Alicia Keys says, the concrete jungle. Yes, there's concrete everywhere, and I immediately decided if I can't work with the environment in terms of like trees and plants and bees and insects, I might as well teach people about it. So I ended up becoming a teacher at Success Academy, and they promise their they promise parents to create students that are affluent. And of course, again, yes, the promise of affluence is a promise of change, but one thing that we do see in today's society is that kids are changing for sure, but is it for better or for worse? And when it came to talking about climate change with my students, these kids are so brilliant. So brilliant. And yet they believe that any form of minute action that they take is worthless. Like, for example, maybe like they might see somebody leave trash, they're gonna ignore it and just carry on about their day. Because again, New York is different. You have to mind your business, but then again, this is the environment you're living in. It's either you're going to take care of it or you're not going to take care of it. So they're more into the zero motive action, where, you know what? I'm giving you guys all the info. I'm giving you guys all the juicy bits within the book, but definitely do go ahead and get the book. It's encouraging you to develop self in order to develop community, in order to create impact that can actually help solve these big problems. Develop yourself. It's a self-development book, and a lot of people do need that self-development. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Get that book. Get that book. I'm not going to ruin it for you now, but get that book.
I love it. I love it. Wait. You only want to give him, you want to give him what? Little bit? All right, give him.
Spoil it for the readers here.
Listen, so I love this. You said develop self. Right, that's good, because the next speaker, that's what we just talked about. We had our self-care. Self-care is not selfish, right? And understanding that in order to have a nourishing or a happy or a sustainable community, you need to develop self. The self-work is important. So she taking a whole nother text right there. That's why I keep bringing her back. You see what I'm saying? You have to. You have to. That's why she do this right here. This is what she do, right? And so, Landra, you talking about developing self to develop a community, and then your perspective of coming from Guyana, amazing, lush, beautiful, bountiful, right? Natural area, culture, the rainforest, the waterfalls. I mean, oh my goodness. So you left there and then you came to New York.
Yeah, the place where your dreams come true.
Where your dreams come true. And that's again, that vitamin C, it took a level of courage, of confidence for you to leave home, leave your
A lot.
mom, I know, right? Leave your people, your community to come and develop a new community. And so I just want to salute you. I don't know if you give yourself enough credit.
Yeah.
For you to come here, that's right. I love you. I admire you. I'm always praying for you and rooting for you. And to come here and then become a leader and to develop as a teacher, and to now you're now pouring into the next generation and becoming a leader.
For sure.
And so I'm just grateful. So as you see, she's an amazing young lady, guys. Like I said, I have to have her come back and share her entire story. But let me tell you
Definitely.
something. She don't play about climate change, y'all. She don't play
Definitely.
about that.
I will fight each and every single obstacle. We're not here to play, Anana.
That's right. She don't
You're-
play no games about climate change. So she's always teaching and dropping nuggets and helping us to, even in the mundane things, right? How we can affect, what we do, right? How we think it's something so small and little, but it has a huge impact, and how we
Yeah.
all play a part in that. So I know you gotta go, but I want you to just give one tip. Just give the folks that are watching, give us one thing, give them one tip in the space of climate change. I'm learning all the time, but you always are teaching. So tell the audience just one thing, one tip in this space of what they can do.
If I'm going to give you one tip, I think this is a tip you've been getting since the beginning of time. Your parents have always told you this. Never stop learning. Every single day, make it your objective to find out one thing about climate change. Because right now, if I'm to tell you that they recently decided one of the ways that they're going to try and help solve climate change is by shooting micro mirrors into space to reflect the sun's rays from the earth, you wouldn't believe me. These crazy solutions are out here, but they don't make any sense to me. Keep learning. Never stop. Definitely, for sure, never stop learning. Keep going out there. Use your own head. Try and think of solutions. Just because you're one person does not mean that you can't continue to build greatness. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day. That's what they said. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? You have to keep making those little steps every single day to create greater.
Awesome. Y'all, she not a joke. I love her so much. And she's a bad somebody. She's very modest. She's very humble. She was just on the runway like last week. If I have some pictures, she does her thing in the space of modeling. So we are certainly happy that you are
Definitely.
here. And
And
so y'all
for
stay
sure-
tuned.
Oh, sorry. I was
Go
saying
ahead.
for sure, if Blessed Girls was going to start hitting the runway, trying to build its own community of models, I'm here to coach them. I'm here to get them ready. You're finding Blessed Girls on the runway too.
Y'all ready? Blessed Girl modeling. Okay, you already said it.
I already said it. All there is for it to come to light.
You hear that, Minister Dixon? Y'all see, they listening. All right. Thank you so much. So we're gonna go last but not least. She has been here, and I'm grateful for her leadership. This amazing young lady. You guys had the opportunity. If you didn't check out our last Blessed Girl session on self-care is not selfish. She was actually our expert on that session, and so she's back. She is a contributing author. When we talk about listen, learn, and live in civility, this amazing midwife, minister, counselor, she a whole lot of stuff. Mother, sister, she is here today. So I'm grateful that she's actually going to bring this all together for us. As we move forward. So I'm going to bring her up. You better go back and watch the last session.
Yeah, wow. Thank you. It is such an honor to be acknowledged. And that way, Dr. Nana, thank you for having a vision and being obedient to give back to the community and allowing myself and other authors to just contribute, right? Like, that's a big deal, building community, being able to speak your truth in a written word that can be a tool that others can utilize and tap into. So yes, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Tamika Thomas, and I'm in the United States, coming all the way from Denver, Colorado. I am a licensed therapist working primarily with adolescents and young adults, right? Helping them gather the tools that they need to be the best that they can be in society, right? To own their well-being. And so I have a lot of experiences with working with teens. You know, they're raw, they're open, and they're looking for solutions. And sometimes the seeking and the research that they do often isn't matched with what they receive from the messaging and the propaganda that is displayed in our social media, right? So my chapter, my C, was all about civility. And I kind of titled I did title my chapter, The Roadmap to Respect, Love, and Courage, which is something that we see today is not leading. We see that hate. We see that our differences are dictating the way that we interact with each other. So basically my chapter is about how do we bridge that roadmap to come back to the place that God designed us, right? The foundation. God created us in his image, and we've gotten away from that, right? The biblical stance. We've gotten away from that because we have entered into this world of selfism. And what does it look like for me to be selfism? Like, am I selfish, right? Am I not considering my brothers and sister? How do I continue to breed off of the differences that we all have instead of having the ability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences, right? We're such a culture now that has gone into division instead of finding ways of connection and instead of finding ways of supporting each other. And if we go back to when God created us, right, he created us in his image. So if we all have white bones, we all bleed red, like we are all born with the same amount of fingers, the same amount of toes, the same amount of teeth. How have we became a culture that lacks civility? And it's because of the social behaviors that we have been taught, because these things are taught to us. And so civility is just all about, like, how do we show respect for others? How do we accept others? How do we show up in those spaces where there's adversities or there's moments of disconnect? How do we step into that and we learn ways of connecting? So basically those interpersonal etiquettes that we all need in life. And one of those things that I talk about is respect, right? One of the things that Maya Angelou said was, in all of my work, I try to say is that human beings are more alike than we are unalike. So if Maya Angelou, a great poet, can say that we are all the same, what divides us? What makes us different? What are those distinctions between us? And I think we move from a place of agency to ownership. When we move into a mindset of ownership, it's like a fixed mindset. We don't leave room for a growth mindset where we can see our differences, where we can tap into our differences, and working with a lot of young adults, it's like, and youth, it's like they are in conflict over street colors, over streets, over areas, over perimeters, over, with young girls. Oh, she said the wrong thing. She looked at me in a way that wasn't befitting, right? How do we tap into that instead of then continuing to allow us to be disconnected? And one of the things that I share, like even one of my best friends who I've been best friends with for like 25 plus years. Like when we was in high school, we did not like each other at all. I mean, we were like, oh, she thinks she all of that, right? We had that gossip, we had that hatred, we like on site, you want to fight. Like we were just so disconnected, but we hung out in the same circle. But what I had to do, and we both had to do, we had to lean into each other. Why do I not like this person? What is it about this person that I can accept or I can acknowledge their differences? This doesn't mean that I have to be best friends with this person, but I can understand what those differences are, right? And now, because we both were mature enough to tap in instead of then disconnect and tap out and be like, nah, she cool, I'm not even about to mess with her. I've been friends with her for 25 years. Like she is my rock. With my sister, she's my rock. She's the one who I call on, who has developed, and she's in social work. I'm in therapy, and we both do the same thing. But if we didn't allow ourselves to grow and to to see those differences, I could have lost out of an opportunity to have such an amazing person in my life who is one of my number one supporters. And so that is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, we're going back. My chapter talks a lot about the spiritual connection and how God designed us and how we are supposed to work in unity, but we are somehow gotten away from the foundation of what God created us to do. He created us to be the light. He created us to bring community. He created us to show love. He created us to be what he called us to be, and that is the natural perception of who we are in civility. And so, there's a lot of things that can divide us: our religion, right? Our skin color. We've seen this from the foundation of what this world was built on: our political views, the choice of music, our education, our socioeconomics. Those are all things that divide us. But if we are all the same underneath, we have to start looking from a lens that we are spiritual beings and not human beings. Because when we look at being human beings, we're looking at those differences. We're looking at those ways to disconnect instead of operating from a sense of spiritual, where we're all on this journey together, right? We're all spiritual beings. We are all doing the work in which God has called us to do in this world. And so we're allowing ourselves to accept what is unacceptable. We're allowing ourselves to see the differences. We're striving for a society, a healthy society that brings connection instead of disconnection, right? And sometimes, that hunger to be self-ism breeds the way that we show up in the world, the way that we behave. And so if we kind of chill the ego and let our spiritual being see, and we see that we can build healthy communities if we learn how to tap in and how to engage. And so my chapter, I want to give you all the pieces, but it just talks about how do we build respect. Everybody has heard that saying by Aretha Franklin, the respect song, right? Like, what does respect mean to you? To me, it means something different from individuals who don't share my same skin color, right? Like, their ideal of respect is different from mine. So how do I cultivate those conversations that can be catalysts for change, right? So how do I have that conversation? I talk about how that skill shows up. I talk about showing love. What is unconditional love? Like, how do we learn to love each other through those differences? What does that look like? How do we curb the ego and allow love to be a foundation that we give and that we share with others, and just like a breathing tool that we use, just like breath, right? I talk about what it looks like to be courageous, like how to show up in your space, how to take ownership, how to have those conversations, those restorative conversations with others when we don't understand. And we know that, our trauma and our backgrounds and our childhood, they lead how we enter into relationships and how we maintain those relationships. And so if we're able to peel back those trauma experiences or those trauma lenses that we have put on, and we see individuals for who they truly are, we will have a true, healthy, not even truly who they are, if we're able to see them under the mask that they have had to wear for so many years based on their experiences in life. We're able to see the genuine people, and we're able to love and give without limitations or trying to seek an understanding instead of judging. And then we learn to speak the truth, and we learn to love instead of finding faults in each other, right? And we learn to forgive. We learn to forgive. So that's kind of my chapter. I would encourage you all to get the book to read. There is some gems in there. There is some powerful information that needs to be read, that needs to be absorbed, and then it needs to be applied. Because like community and civility, it starts with you. It starts with you. And so we have to be that change that we so seek. And one of the things that I've learned in this journey, this word that I just recently had a greater understanding about, was abracadabra, right? And that word is, as I speak, I create. And when we talk about the Bible, the life and death is in the power of the tongue. We have the ability to build each other up, or we have the ability to tear each other down. And we see that the world right now is destructive. So why do we continue to why do we continue to contribute to the destruction of cancel culture, canceling each other without even knowing our story? And so I talk about how we can share our stories with others so that we can compel them to lean in instead of then stepping back. And each one of our stories are important. They're who we are, but we have control over what story and what narrative we can share with others. So share that story of building. Let that roadmap of civility be the change, because more than ever, it is needed. Our love, our courageous, our respect, our ability to unite is needed more than anything. We see the revivals happening, right? That speaks to itself of how we're in need of each other. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about my chapter. I see my son is on. He's a young 25-year-old, young man growing up in this world and society. He saw his mom going to college. I had 4 sons by the age I was 24, but it didn't stop God from the calling that it had on my life to get my degree in mental health and counseling and to give back. Right. And to give back. So thank y'all for listening. Hopefully this word edified you in some type of way, despite my nervousness.
Listen, what you didn't talk about there, sis? Oh no, what? That was good. That was so good. Zena wanted to talk about it. That was amazing. Self-love, perspective, respect, civility. Oh my goodness. Just what we need right now. A bit of your story. It was good. It was good. So I'm grateful. I mean, again, you talk about this in the Bible. Ooh, you share the scripture, the Bible. You relate a lot of that in regards to honoring your mother and father and commandments. And it was just good. But what I'm going to ask you to do, because you were actually a part of the tour as well. You'll be traveling with us. What to do. Anything you want to share in that space?
Yes, Africa was amazing. So I was able to see Ghana and enjoy the rich culture that is there, the food. I was also able to tap into South Africa. And I think the thing that was highlighted for me was the love, right? The love over there, like just the humanity that they had. Like we went to orphanages and we went to schools, and there was kids that didn't have matching shoes and socks, but they traveled from places to go to school, to value their education. And it was like a humbling experience for me, because it showed me how privileged I am, but with a ignorance type of privilege, if that makes sense, of how I'm always seeking and wanting more, and I want to achieve, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. But those kids and the culture over there was humbled, and they showed love regardless of their circumstances, regardless of what they were facing, right? Like that ultimate display and demonstration of love and just like being and existing. So I'm excited to go back. I mean, I saw a culture of identity over there, right? A strong sense of identity. We think about being in America and how we pull from here, we pull from there, we pull from there. But over there, it was solidified, it was shown, and just the unity, and how, one of the things they kept saying is, welcome back, welcome home, right? Welcome back. If we applied that same type of if we extended that same type of statement here in America, like how many more people will feel like they belong? How many more people will, want to seek community instead of then isolating, right? Welcome home. Welcome to you. Welcome to, this safe space for you, designed by you. So that's a little bit about my experience. Looking forward to going back.
Thank you. It was such a great experience to see you share and minister and love on the people while we were there, from South Africa, being at the orphanage, hearing you speak, and just the love, you know,
Yes.
and I feel that way. A lot of what we're seeing now is such an identity crisis.
Yes.
You know, we really don't know as a people who we are, right? And so we just started to uncover that as
Yep.
Thomas was sharing, you know, being in Ghana and the gold. That's just a layer, a piece of us that we had no clear understanding of, just what was, you know, somewhat in some textbooks, which, you know, that's a whole nother story, which is even being removed. But we were able
Yeah.
to be there in person, and be present for that. And it was absolutely incredible. So I thank you. I thank you again. I always say I
Yes.
thank you for your yes. I
Yeah.
thank you for your yes, for
Yes.
joining me on this journey of the 4 C's, of being an ambassador and sharing your expertise, and just a little bit about your story. So we're going to have you back, for sure. We're just going to wrap this thing up. I want to have all the authors come back on if you can. Tamika, you can certainly, if you want to grab a drink or so, I'll bring you back if you need a break. But I'm going to have everybody come on up now, and share. If you guys are still there, you can put your cameras on, and get ready for the panel discussion. I see Blessy might still be here. Landra, if you're still here. And so I just wanted to we're going to be back tomorrow. Some of the authors will be back in person, some not. So we can't trying to get everybody on the same schedule, but I'm grateful for those that could be here today. And so just thinking of the space of youth civility, of creating the road to sustainable change. And so it's just some of the hot topics I wanted to just share, because we want to stay relevant, and bless the folks. So, okay, I see we're all here. All right, all right. I'm moving it along. So I think I share with you all some of the hot topics that I saw just this morning, just today, because news is probably stuff happening right now that we could talk about. But that's how relevant this is. And that's how relevant I hope you guys see and understand your voice, your perspective, your input, and how being an author in this book, right, and being a part of this movement and being on this platform, how relevant it is just for right now, right? So one of the headlines for today, and if Landra, she's going, okay, but even that one was, well, one, okay, let's say this was a teacher, a professor that was sharing that they teach at the college level, and they're baffled by how students are, their lack of engagement. And how so students are just like whatever, going through the motions. I don't know. I see Ayana shaking her head. I mean, I'm sure Tamika could share even in the space of the counseling space, and for Blessy, you know, working with the students in Burundi, but how students just are really not engaged, even in the university on that level, maybe even in their community. So what are your thoughts on getting students, getting young people involved and engaged in this space of civility and community, in all of our C's? Anybody want to share? If y'all on mute, you got to unmute yourself, because you got to unmute yourself. Y'all still with me? Y'all out there?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, there we go. Come on.
I feel like COVID really took a toll on the world, like in itself, because from going to being fully in person, having the ability to do everything, and then one day in the click of a button, it's just all taken away from you, and then now you're being told, oh, you can't go and do anything. So that was really like heartbreaking, and like very, like it just deterred a lot of people and a lot of things, and for some people it birthed a lot of things out of others. But some people took that time to either rest, to work and create something new. Some people took the time to just let it do whatever to them. So I feel like when the people took the time to just let it do whatever to them, it deterred them a lot. And that's what we're seeing in classes. Like nobody, I'm one of the only people who talk in my classrooms. Like it shouldn't be like that. Nobody, like when the professors say, okay, get in a group, nobody's hopping to get in a group to try to talk. Like everybody's just sitting there. They don't want to talk. They don't want to engage. They don't want to, like when we have to do group work, they don't even want to meet up outside the classroom to do the work. But we have to get it done. So it's like, it's hard to try to like communicate and to be somebody who's always reaching out and trying to get people to communicate and interact, it's hard because it's like I feel like I'm always doing everything. Somebody has to help me somewhere, like, and I just feel like some people, they just don't understand and they take that for granted, and they just do what they want to do. And it's like, you do the best that you can to try to get people to do it. Like, I try to make things fun, maybe bring a snack, like just something, because people always want to eat, so let's try to engage them some way somehow, but it's still hard.
Yeah. So you definitely resonate with that is a truth, that students are really, and from your perspective, you feel like the pandemic, right, and being shut down and shut in has affected, even still now, that a lot of us are not engaged or really disengaged from things. I certainly agree, and can feel that way. Anyone else want to add to that? In that space, and I think that's why community is so important, right? And having people feel like there's a safe space, and that they can not be judged, that this is a safe environment to be loved. Hey, maybe I don't say it the same way, maybe I don't speak the same way, I might have an accent, there's so many different things. And I feel like that's the beautiful thing even of this platform, and us all coming together from everywhere, from different perspectives, from different experiences, and being able to be heard and to use your voice, and to share in that way.
Yeah.
So that was one. I don't know, Tamika, did you want to add anything as far as disengagement?
Well, and I think that goes back to the respect, right? The lack of respect that we're actually seeing in this culture that is so heavily on social media, right? And social media, shaping the thoughts and the beliefs of how, our young learners should show up in the classroom. I know I've been in classrooms where I've worked with high-risk youth, right? Those who have been kicked out of the mainstream, educational system, who this is like their last chance. And one of the things is like, they don't respect their teachers no more. They don't respect their peers anymore, right? That phone is that connection. And when you try to correct them and be like, hey, we are in class right now, like, I'm gonna need you to put that phone away, right? And you get that pushback, and you get that, that disrespect. And then, as teachers or even as parents, like, some parent, not me, because I grew up in a school system where you got in trouble, you went to the principal, they had that ruler or that stick, and you got hit, right? That kind of like corporal punishment. And now teachers are afraid because their mama's going to come to school, cuss them out. Their daddy's going to come, or they're going to be, met with this retaliation for disciplining their kids. And so that's why it's so important that we start to create these social buffers for kids to be able to teach them, like, no, this is what respect looks like. This is what it looks like in the classroom. And then really equipping teachers to have classroom management without the fear of being retaliated by parents. It's just a lost culture. And so if they don't prioritize education, they're not going to respect teachers who are trying to teach them. I mean, that's just a culture that we see and that we breathe. And I've worked in these school systems and I see it. But for me, I hold my ground. I open up those conversations. Like, okay, it seems like I'm feeling disrespected right now, right? Like, I've asked you to put away your phone, but you continue to have it. How can I help you understand what that expectation was, right? Not that I'm being forceful, not that I'm being disrespectful. I'm just creating that avenue to talk about what our differences is and what they might not see as an expectation for my class.
Yeah.
So it talks with just conversations, being real, being authentic, but also holding a level of stance to be able to be assertive without it being forceful, right? Or disrespectful.
No,
I definitely second that, because even working at the elementary school with the 3rd and 4th graders, like, they're only in 3rd and 4th grade. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to write. Like, their skills that they are supposed to know, they are lacking. Like, everybody needed to be pushed back with the pushback. Like, we should have held on to that pushback, because that is what's going to allow us to accelerate now. But they're lacking all those skills. And then it's like when the classroom gets rowdy and stuff, all the teachers, the other student teachers, they all scared and shy. I'm like, calm down. What's going on? Like, why y'all so rowdy? Did y'all have too much candy? Like, are y'all excited? Are you enjoying the activity? What what are we doing that's making you feel all this excitement? Like, and I understand you in class all day, you sitting here listen to a teacher, and you in an after school program, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to have a good time. So like it's hard sometimes, but then like you said, Tamika, it's you try to be forceful without being like mean about it. So, and they always be like, oh well, why does the kids listen to you but they don't listen to me? Because you don't try to understand. If you, the more you try to take the time out to understand why they're acting this way, and then their household situations too is affecting how they act in school too. So you got to keep all that thing, all those kind of things in mind, so that you know how to really interact with these students.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, and that's headlines everywhere. Was it a 6-year-old shot the teacher, right? Choking another student. This is so much. This is why it's so necessary, right? This is why these conversations, you guys showing up, sharing, this is what 4Cs really is about. And I think we even received that when we were in South Africa. It was like, we need this. You know what I mean? Like those that are in these spaces are so, like overwhelmed, like they feel like, what else can I do, to help and to reach them? So I'm so grateful for your willingness, to be here, to participate in this book. And we're just getting started. This is just the virtual launch, guys. So if you are watching, and if you hung in here for this amount of time, we had a lot to share. We had a lot of co-authors. We will be back tomorrow. So this is, what's this? This is the second edition, but this is the first edition of the virtual launch. So we will be back tomorrow, the same time, same place. Some of the authors will be, some couldn't. So I'm just grateful that we were able to get the majority of us here today. And we'll be talking about some more hot topics and where the youth civility and our road to sustainable change with the 4Cs, how we can impact those areas. So I thank you all for watching. Thank you all, Ayana, Tamika, for hanging in there with me, for being here, for really your time for sure is so valuable. You all definitely serve and work in that space. So I'm grateful for you all being here. So thank you again, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone that commented, shared. If you're watching the replay, definitely type in replay. Let us know where you're watching from. The book is available on Amazon. You can search the 4Cs, search Anana, Dr. Anana Pfeiffer. You just type in my name. I think the link is there. If not, it will be pinned. But I think it was shared in the beginning. The book is available on Amazon. But here's the thing. Each of the authors are sharing the book. Each of the authors will have their own in-person book launches. So you could stay tuned. You could purchase the book from them directly, which I want you to do to help support them in that space. I know we have one launch set for July, one in May where we'll be in Canada. So you stay tuned. This is just the beginning. Somebody say this is just the beginning. So we are continuing this movement. We'll be developing a curriculum that will be available for the school systems. I myself and all of those that are authors can come in and be a part of the speakers. What we did in Africa, we can do here in the United States, and our voices are necessary. I am more encouraged more now than ever to understand that the 4Cs and the youth civility is necessary for right now. The time is now. So again, my name is Dr. Anana. I am the visionary of the 4Cs and grateful to be used in this time in this season to gather these amazing authors to share in this process on this platform of youth civility. And of course, our second edition of the 4Cs, which is the road to sustainable change, where you need to know that you have the opportunity to listen, to learn, and to live and walk out civility. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.